Hey friends, welcome back to the homestead. We're getting a late start here today. Really late start, so I'm not sure what all we're going to get done. But I do have some firewood that I need to get off the ground and get it in some totes. But before we do that, let's check in with the animals. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about these IBC totes. Try to get some opinions on the tops or the covers for these IBC totes. Alright guys, I have a question for you. So behind me are 3 IBC totes with 3 different lids. A lot of folks take the bladders and cut them like I have this one cut and use them as a lid. And this works fine. It's a good way to keep the firewood dry, and it's very inexpensive because obviously most of these IBC totes come with these bladders and there's really nothing else to do with them other than cut them and make them a lid. The downsides is they're kind of a pain in the butt. Usually when I'm loading the wood boiler, I tip the lid back like that. 9 times out of 10, it falls off the back side of the IBC tote, and then I have to walk around it to then pick it up. Not a huge deal, but it happens more often than not. The other thing is the corners, you have to cut them to fit over the firewood tote, and then they continuously creep up and start to tear away. After the tote's empty and you store them in the tote, here I'll show you, unless you put them on top of the tote, they kind of get smashed and can, in the colder months, get real stiff, and then it's kind of hard to put them back on your empty tote. And lastly, they're ugly. There's nothing aesthetically pleasing about this lid at all, unlike the tarps that look amazing. So that brings me to my next question. Tarps. This 6x8 canvas tarp is roughly $28. It is very strong and it will last a very long time. This 6x8 tarp is a heavy duty, I can't remember how many mil thick plastic tarp, sold at Harbor Freight for $9.99. I'm curious which one will hold up longer. So if you have any experience with the Harbor Freight heavy duty tarps like this, leave a comment down below. How long is something like that going to hold up? Now I have experience with these canvas tarps. I have one on the hay shed in the background that's been on there for probably 3, maybe 4 years. And it is perfect. It doesn't leak. There's no holes in it. It holds, it's held up perfectly. Now with firewood, it might be a little bit more abrasive underneath, but it's done a good job of holding up. How long will this plastic tarp, or whatever you want to call it, hold up? I don't know, but it's only $10. That one's almost $30. So I'm curious if you guys have any experience with these tarps. Leave a comment down below. Now I guess my other question is, by putting the tarps on, is it going to cause the wood to not dry out? I mean, I'm sure it'll dry out eventually, but does it slow down the drying process? Because it's a tarp, there's no real airflow under that tarp, and it kind of comes down low on the sides. So it has more coverage than, say, this lid. Like the lid hangs down the same distance, but there's much more airflow under the lid, in my mind. I don't know. And I guess the last question is should you just leave them uncovered until we get into the winter months when it's wetter and more snow? Do you guys leave your firewood uncovered that long and then cover it up for the winter months? So right now I'm kind of in the experimental phase of figuring out how I want to cover these IBC totes permanently. I like the idea of the tarp. It's quick, it's easy. It costs a little bit more, but if I could get away with using these Harbor Freight $10 tarps, I'd be willing to buy a couple of those a week and slowly transition all of my totes over to that, because it'd be much easier to take a couple bungee cords off and throw that tarp back and get my wood out than dealing with that plastic unsightly tote. Let's go get the RK37 and grab an empty tote and get some firewood off the ground. Alright friends, so it's a couple days into the future since I started shooting this video. So I worked into the evening the other night and I was able to pull 2 full totes out of that pile of wood. And I'm guessing there's probably 2 more totes over there that I've split up. So we've got to get those 2 totes in a, or those, yeah, we got to get those 2 totes, I guess is what I'm saying. So anyways, I got busy with work, and then I had to go pick up a new piece of equipment, which we're not going to talk about in this video, but it's something that I wanted ever since I was a kid. And then I got to cleaning equipment around the property here. I detailed out the Polaris Ranger. I've got some floor mats ordered for it. Hopefully they'll be here soon. I'm trying to keep the inside of the cab a little cleaner, a little neater, a little easier to clean. And then I went ahead and detailed the tractor. Let me show you what happened. And this is kind of disappointing. So when I bought this tractor, I can't remember. We could look back on the channel. This is the RK37. And I got a discount on this tractor because it had some faded paint issues. And it wasn't this bad when I bought it, but over time it has gotten progressively worse. And I don't know how well you can see it or not, but the cleaner that I used interacted with the already faded paint job, and it looks awful now. And it not just the hood, it affected the loader here, and it's not ideal. If there was any downside to this tractor at all, it would be the paint job on this thing. It is absolutely horrendous. But I did get a discount for that when I bought it. I didn't anticipate it deteriorating so quickly. I think the tractor's a 2018. I didn't buy it in 2018. I think I bought it in 2020 or 2021, somewhere around there. So it's not that old of a tractor in the land of tractors for the paint to be really this bad. Now, besides the faded paint, it is chipping everywhere. All the hard edges, you know, inside there. Both sides of the loader look like that. And the wheels, the paint is coming right off the wheels as well. You know, the frame looks good. I don't notice any issues with the frame yet as far as paint coming off, but the wheels, this is all faded. Now this did not have, this is corroded, that's not good. This did not have the same effect with that cleaner I used for whatever reason. And then, you know, back here, the black paint on the rear diffs, everything still looks brand new there, but man, everything else just looks like crap. So I'm curious, guys, what you would do in this situation. I thought about buffing the hood. Maybe I'll get a buffer and some buffing compound and buff it and see if it comes back a little bit, or maybe there's a trick I don't know about. If you know some way of getting I'm sure that's fiberglass, get that fiberglass hood to reshine. You know, leave a comment down below. I'm really kind of disappointed overall with how much, not so much the paint fading, but the fact that it's chipping off of the tractor. I don't know, maybe it might be time to, I hate to say this, it might be time to trade this thing in for a Kubota or something. I really like the tractor. It's been a fantastic machine, and there's nothing wrong with it. It runs great. It has always done everything I've ever asked it to do. The 37 horsepower is about perfect for my needs here. You know, there's times I wish I had a 55, or there's times I wish I had a smaller tractor. But the 37 is kind of like a sweet spot. So if I were to get another tractor, it'd be in that 30, 35 horsepower range, maybe 40 horsepower range. I don't know. I really don't want to spend more money again. You know, I was kind of hoping I'd buy one tractor and be done with it and never buy another tractor again. And, you know, this thing probably will run for the rest of my life. I don't see any issues with it. And, you know, there's going to be maintenance down the road, but maybe it will run the rest of my life, and I could live with the paint. Maybe I paint it at some point. That's a big undertaking. Or do I trade it in on a Kubota? Does Kubota's paint chip like that? Am I living in an illusion that, you know, after a tractor gets some time on it, it's just gonna fade and chip anyway? I don't know. Leave your comments down below. Let me hear your experience with equipment. But I gotta get, right now I gotta get the tractor put back together. I just gotta put the floor mat back in it, and then I'm gonna run down and fill up this IBC tote. I'll run it back up to the wood yard, I guess we're calling it, and then get another IBC tote. I'm sure there's at least 2 more totes there. And then I need to water the garden tonight. So stick with me. Let's get the rest of this wood picked up and go on from there. Well, we ended up with 1.5 totes out of that last pile that was sitting over there, which isn't bad. Look at that bunny rabbit right there. What are you doing, boy? Anyways, it's not bad. I don't have any more trees down right now to cut up or split, but there's plenty of stuff around here to work on, and I'll get to that here in a future video. As you guys might be able to tell, the tractor's in the middle of a regen right now, and I'm running out of daylight, so I think I'm going to wrap this video up. But before I go, I want to say a couple things. First off, I want to thank all of my new members for joining the channel and supporting my efforts here. If you guys noticed, music has returned in this video, and that's because of the members. With the member support, I was able to justify purchasing music for the videos again, and we'll continue that. I took a leap of faith and paid for a whole year, hoping that maybe some more people might decide to become members. If not, it's not really a big deal. I like for YouTube to support itself. I hate taking money out of my own pocket and putting it into this, because there's a lot of other things I'd rather spend my money on. Although I do like making videos, but I don't have to add music to them. I do that to make them more watchable and more entertaining. So thank you. That was a long way to go to say thank you to my new members. And if you're interested in becoming a member and supporting this channel, just click on that join button. And other than that, that's it. We'll be back at it here soon. Let me know in the comments down below. That's the other thing I wanted to say. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this style of videos moving forward. I think this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to film my daily activities and dump them into 2 longer videos a week instead of trying to do 3 a week. A video every day is just never going to happen for me. I That's not a reality for somebody that works a full-time job, has a very active child in sports, a wife who also works a full-time job at an opposite shift, and live on a homestead, making a video every day. If I didn't have a job, that'd be easy, but I do have a job and it takes up a lot of my time. So what I'm thinking is I'll vlog what I do daily, wrap it up into 2 videos a week, and publish those on Mondays and Thursdays. So let me know in the comments down below if you think that's a good idea. We'll see about lives. I don't know if we're going to continue to do lives or not. Yeah, we'll see. You guys let me know if you want to do lives. So other than that, God bless everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.